Hello, my name is Carolyn. I was raised in Central Africa and migrated to Australia in 1970 with my parents, and later met and married my husband Patrick and had 4 beautiful children, and currently we have 7 gorgeous grandchildren. From the age of 5 until I was 17, I was sexually abused by my father and by our African servant at the age of 8. So I pretty much learnt to live behind a very polished mask and pretended that everything was fine when it clearly wasn't. It was in late 1993 that everything started to surface for me, and I couldn't hold it together anymore, and I had a breakdown. I knew I needed help, so I packed a bag and admitted myself into hospital for 2 weeks. Whilst it was a very difficult chapter of my life, it was also the beginning of me, because I finally fully surrendered to God, and He very gently healed my brokenness. I actually don't want to gloss over the effects of sexual abuse, nor the feelings of shame and unworthiness that one feels, because it would demean those that share a similar story to mine. But I will say that there is life after it. I think the most wonderful thing for me was when God helped me to forgive my father from my heart, because the truth is that I hated him. I hated him and blamed him pretty much for all the things that I was struggling with. So I actually asked God to help me to forgive my father. And I said to God, if you want me to love him, you'll have to put the love in my heart for him, because I hate him. And my father actually rang me and asked me to forgive him for what he had done. And I didn't gloss it. I said, I forgive you. God so healed my heart in that area that I was actually able, after that, to ask my father to forgive me for judging him and hating him and resenting him for most of my life. And he did. And I knew that healing was complete for me when I was able to hold his face, kiss his forehead, and say, Dad, I really, really love you, and mean it. And what was really wonderful too was that my dad was actually able to enjoy the fruits of forgiveness in the entire family before he died, which was just really great. And I heard a lovely quote I'd like to share with you. It says, to forgive is to set the prisoner free, only to discover that the prisoner was you. And I was a prisoner for lots of wasted years, and I just found that so liberating, and I felt free. It was wonderful. For me, my story is really God's story, because there is no way I would be where I am today without him. Because after my breakdown, he gave me an incredible gift of encouragement with a greeting card ministry. Carolyn's Cards was born, and I just get letters from people all over Australia and parts of the world just saying how God's touched their lives. My husband passed away a few years ago, which was very life-changing for my family and I. But we all know that God's grace and his plans and his dreams for us have never altered despite adversity and loss. I'm really grateful for the loving husband he gave me, who had a great sense of humour, and also for our beautiful children and grandchildren, and my whole family. I've got a beautiful family. And when I stop and think about the journey of my life, I often pause and think about the poem that he gave me for one of my greeting cards. During times of sadness, adversity and strife, to joyous laughter and the carefree life, God's right beside you if you weren't aware, just waiting to show how deeply he cares. But we move about at such a pace and exclude him from the decisions we make. He watches patiently as consequences unfold. Then we desperately say, why wasn't I told? I tried, he whispers, but you did not hear. Now please let me wipe away those tears. I love you, my child, you've been carefully made. Your life has a purpose, just follow my way. I won't lead you astray or guide you wrong, but gently lead you where you belong. I made the sunrise, the beautiful flowers, the dewdrops after each morning shower. I gave you gifts unique to you, so no one can touch the world quite like you.